Dr. Bill Bussey, what can I say? When Bill and I talked, I'm like, this is a guy that needs no introduction. There's not much I can say that most people don't already know about Dr. Bill Bussey. It was great to see the Schlitz balloon out the other night. You did a great job, Bill. And he was inducted into the Hall of Fame year 2016. And he's going to speak of our first inductee, Dr. Coy Foster. Dr. Bill.
This is kind of interesting. I'm introducing someone that's not here. Coy Foster is a unique person. You will read about it that he was in a fire, an accident, and he was burned over 80% of his body. And if you're 20 years old, you're supposed to die. He was 51 years old. And that totals 131 points. That's 31% towards death or into death. And his buddies put him in an induced coma for several months, and they waited on his operations and everything, and the man lived. His will lived beyond what you could ever imagine. And it was interesting to me because in the early days or the late 70s, I met him. I heard about this guy up in Dallas that was doing these world records. And I was kind of interested, but, you know, a little bit frightened of it. And so I went up to talk with him, and he was showing me all these thermal images of hot air balloons and where they were leaking and the seams and everything, and how you can make it better. And he was into super pressure gas balloons, which I don't even understand. Bert Dewey know all about that stuff, but he decided that the little stitch holes were very important to the longevity and the amount of pressure you can put in them. I don't even understand that. He flew super pressure balloons for many world records. And he and I would talk about this stuff, and I just couldn't believe he knew all this stuff. And he said, you know, Bussey, if world records were easy, everyone would have one. You know, I remember that. And that's true. Is Steve Jones here? Because, okay, well, Steve Jones was with me in failures and successes. And you kind of go through both of these things. And I visited him one time, and he said, well, you need to get with Perry Lindford. He can build you a special basket. And so I had this special basket built. He said, well, how much does it weigh? I said, it weighs 80 pounds. He said, that's pretty light. Come in here. And he lives in a nice home in Dallas. You know, he's a plastic surgeon. And so I go into his dining room, and there's this little tiny basket, and it weighs 22 pounds. Has a Kevlar front. I said, that's what you need right there, not that 80-pound piece of junk. And so I'm kind of set back, and so I had one built, but it weighs 20 pounds. So I beat him by 2 pounds on that. Anyway, Coy's an interesting guy. He said, I don't know, 59 world records. You can read about this, how great he really was, how he pushed the envelope in very, very tiny balloons. Coy didn't weigh much, and so he said he had an advantage. I had to be fat up and everything. So I said, okay, I'm not going to fool with these small balloons. I'll go to the middle ones, you know. And I actually like to say that he was very influential in a record I set in that 20-pound envelope. And also I made some special tanks. But the records last, they're still alive. And they're 22 years old. It's kind of like Julian Knox stuff. You know, I'm real proud of that. And many people have tried to break it. And I attribute the success of that flight to none other than Coy Foster. He taught me to look at every tiny detail of flight. Now, I had planned to read you, so I'm record. It's incredible. The only person that approaches him that I know of is Troy Bradley. Troy Bradley has 50 or 60 world records. And like I said before, if world records were easy, everyone would have one, and they don't. And the trying and the calculations and the sleepless nights that you go through to create one of these things is phenomenal. And so I can imagine that Coy lost a lot of sleep doing on his record. And I thank you. And I know he would be thrilled that he's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I don't know how this works if he's not here. But Coy Foster is one of the greatest, along with some of the other.
Take back